Welcome on this day before Ash Wednesday. And today usually is about parties and celebrations, right? Shrove Tuesday, also known as Mardi Gras. Sometimes there's special foods like punchkis here in Michigan, or maybe it's pancakes where you are. And there's this sense of we do all this celebrating before Ash Wednesday begins because Ash Wednesday brings this contemplation. Ash is bringing the contemplation of mortality. But this year, it feels like we've never left Lent, right? The pandemic really started heating up here in the States in March, which was March of 2020, in the middle of Lent last year, and it just kind of continued on. And so this year, what would it mean to pay really close attention during this season of Lent 2021 instead of 2020, and paying attention to how can we prepare ourselves to dance? Like, we want to leave this heavy contemplation of mortality behind so that we can dance, we can celebrate, because that's the whole purpose of the contemplation to begin with. That we contemplate our lives, our mortality, our ends and beginnings, so that we can celebrate and feel that love and rejoice in the resurrection that love cannot die. And so what would it mean this year for us really to focus upon preparing to dance, preparing to celebrate? And so that's what we're going to do. That's the journey we are going to go on this year. And so I hope you join us. I hope you join us because you're ready to dance. You want to prepare. You say, okay, what do I have to do? Because I want to leave this Lent, this heaviness, this contemplation of mortality. We need a break. We need a break as we go forward into this time, yet still unknown. We don't really know when the pandemic's going to end, but let's dance anyway. How do we dance no matter our circumstances? So that's what we're going to focus on for the next 6 weeks. And to think through that, some of the practices, maybe as we prepare ourselves, what are some things we can be doing in our everyday kind of moments of our lives? And so I want us to think about that. Each week, I'm going to have it in the bulletin just as a reminder. I'll put it up online, a reminder of the things that we can do to practice every single day as we prepare ourselves to dance. And one of those things can be prayer. How are we praying for those around us? How are we praying for ourselves to be open to new possibilities? How are we praying for wisdom? And how are we praying for transformation for our communities? Another thing we can do is to read and study the Bible in particular books. Sometimes particular books really kind of give us a little bit of life. And so, to challenge ourselves in reading a few pieces of scripture every day, taking notes, contemplating, asking it questions, be like, I don't know if I agree with this. Or how does that challenge me today? Whether that's from the book of Ruth, of the book of Luke, Matthew, or something Philippians, Colossians, or maybe something else from the Old Testament, like Proverbs, which is all about wisdom, that practical wisdom. And then another practice to think about is to really take a look at what are we consuming. Every day we consume things. We consume particular types of media. We consume music. We consume art. And so what is something that we could do every day that we choose to consume that's really positive, that really gives us direction, that gives us a little bit of wisdom? Is it in the form of a podcast? Is it in form of a particular TV show? Is it we follow somebody on social media that has a bit of wisdom? What can we consume every day? Maybe it's even exercise or paying attention to what we eat. What can we consume every day that helps us to thrive during this time, that we pay particular attention to? And then another practice of taking it up, of calling someone that you don't usually call, calling a friend and just saying, hey, how's it going? And reconnecting ourselves in ways that maybe we've kind of, I'm too busy to take up that kind of practice. And finally, what about taking up a practice of meditation or silence? Practices every single day, something little, something small that we do, generally adds up to something big. And so which of those practices, or maybe that list made you think of something else? I want to try every day for the next 40 days. I want to try to take up a practice of, so that we are preparing, so that we can dance, so that our lives can be filled in ways that are expected and unexpected, that we can begin to thrive no matter the world that is swirling around us. So come, take up a practice. Join me and others on this journey through Lent so that we can dance. Dance, and celebrate like we haven't in a really long time.